Have you ever stopped to think about how a honeybee does its job? I mean, how a single bee, one out of thousands, finds an amazing patch of flowers miles away, and then, somehow, tells all her sisters exactly where to go. It's honestly one of the most amazing stories in nature, and it all comes down to a secret language.
Okay, so picture this for a second. You've found a hidden treasure, an incredible discovery. But to tell your friends where it is, you can't use a map, you don't have a compass, and to make it even harder, you're in a completely pitch black room. How would you do it? It sounds pretty much impossible, right? Well, this is the exact puzzle a honeybee has to solve every single day. To really appreciate just how brilliant their solution is, we have to understand the mission. So let's dive into the world of the hive, a place that's bustling with activity, but also completely dark, where every decision is critical for survival.
I mean, just think about the challenges a single forager bee is up against. First, she has to pinpoint a specific patch of flowers, which could be kilometers away. Then, she has to fly all the way back to her hive, which isn't some flat surface, it's a vertical honeycomb. And her final, most crucial task? To somehow explain that exact location to thousands of her sisters so they can fly right to it. The whole colony is counting on her.
So how in the world do they pull it off? Well, the answer is just so elegant and so incredible. They do it with a secret dance.
Now, this isn't just any old dance. It's a very specific, highly structured language that we call the Waggle dance. It's basically a set of coded movements that a bee performs to tell the others, hey, I found something amazing, and here's exactly how you get there. You can think of this dance as a living map. It's pure information, a set of instructions that gives the other bees two absolutely critical pieces of data they need to find the treasure. So, how does it actually work?
All right, the first piece of the puzzle is direction. And this is where things get truly mind-bending, because the bees use the sun as their compass, but they do it from inside a dark hive where they can't even see it.
The secret is hidden in the straight part of the bee's figure-8 dance. It's called the Waggle run. During this part, the bee walks forward in a straight line while waggling her abdomen back and forth. And the angle of that one movement, well, that's the key to everything.
Which of course brings us to the big question. If the sun is their main reference point, how on earth do they use it as a landmark when they're inside on a vertical honeycomb in total darkness? And here is their absolutely genius solution. They create a symbolic map. Inside the dark hive, the direction up, just straight up the face of the honeycomb, always stands for the current position of the sun. It becomes their fixed point of reference, their own internal north.
So let's see how that plays out. Let's say a bee finds flowers that are 30 degrees to the right of the sun's position in the sky. She flies back to the hive, climbs onto that vertical comb, and performs her Waggle run at an angle exactly 30 degrees to the right of straight up. The other bees feel this angle in the dark, and they instantly get it. Okay, we need to fly 30 degrees to the right of the sun. It's this incredible act of mental translation.
But of course, knowing the direction is only half the battle. The other bees also need to know how far they need to fly. And you guessed it, the dance encodes that information too. It all comes down to the duration of that same Waggle run. It's really simple. The longer the bee waggles in that straight line, the farther away the food is. And the scale of this is just wild. A Waggle run that lasts for just 1 second can tell the other bees they need to fly for a whole kilometer. Think about how efficient that is. It's an evolutionary masterpiece that lets the colony quickly send its workforce to the best possible locations.
So, a longer dance means it's farther away, a shorter dance means it's close by. But they even add another layer of info here. The more intense and excited the waggles are, the better the food is. So it's not just where, it's also how good is it, which is pretty important if you're a bee.
Now, as incredible as the Waggle dance is, it's not the only tool in the bees' communication kit. They're smart, and they adapt their language to the situation. So what happens if the food isn't miles away? What if there's a fantastic patch of flowers right outside the hive? Maybe just 50 meters or so. A whole complex Waggle dance would probably be overkill, right? For those nearby food sources, they switch to a much simpler message called the round dance. It's pretty much what it sounds like. The bee just runs around in little circles. This dance doesn't give direction or distance. It's just a general signal that creates excitement and basically says, hey everyone, there's amazing food super close by, go look for it. It's all about using the right tool for the right job.
And the communication is happening on multiple levels. It's multisensory. The dancing bee also carries the scent of the flower she just visited. She'll release chemical signals called pheromones, and she'll even share tiny samples of the nectar. This gives the other bees a scent preview of what they're looking for before they even leave the hive.
You know, this quote from our source material just nails it. The waggle dance isn't just some quirky animal behavior, it's really a window into the mind-boggling social intelligence and organizational power of the entire colony, which acts less like a group of individuals and more like a single superorganism.
So in the end, when you see a bee dancing, you're not just watching a bunch of random movements, you are literally witnessing a conversation. A very complex conversation about maps and geography and resources, all taking place in total darkness through a rich symbolic language.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. If an animal as small as a honeybee has developed a symbolic language this sophisticated, it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible conversations, what other secret languages are happening in the natural world all around us that we just haven't learned how to listen to yet?